This is my I'm trying look. I could live in this outfit, and I do. So today we are making the Barbary bread from Eating Out Loud. Nothing is better than a hot Barbary bread from the oven. Hot, just tear into it. Put it in all the dips, all the schmears, or just like eat it on its own. It is insane. You will be hooked. Once you master this, you're gonna use this flatbread, not only for the Barbary, but for so many other things. Pizza base, a focaccia base. It's just a beautifully fluffy, doughy, yummy bread. I have some warm water here, not hot, warm water. 1 pack of active dry yeast, granulated sugar. I'm actually gonna give it a little bit of a mix, just to make sure that everything kind of gets incorporated. I don't know why this is taking so long. Was my water hot enough? I think so. Has it been 5 minutes? After the yeast blooms, then you add in your bread flour. Okay, 1. We're done with this flour. New bag. And your oil. I'm using grapeseed oil here. You can also use canola oil, vegetable oil. I'm just gonna put the oil in right before I start mixing. And I'm just going to lift this up and mix it on medium. Ooh, look inside. I'm gonna let it mix together for around like 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add in my tablespoon of kosher salt. The salt flavor is a little bit more pronounced after you've given it a little bit of time to actually knead before you put it in. But definitely plan this in advance so that you have time to make it, because it does take some time, but it is so well worth it. Kosher salt, sprinkle that in, and then we're gonna go for another 5 minutes, and then we are done. I feel like when we do these videos, I spend so much time walking back and forth in this kitchen because I'm not organized with all the equipment I need. So I end up just looking like a crazy person. That's what we're looking for, okay? That's why it's probably better to do it in a machine, because this stuff is going to get pretty sticky to your hand. You want to look for like a humid, warm environment. Obviously that gets a little bit more challenging in the cold winter months. But you know, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I bring my dough that's rising into the shower with me, just so that it can get a little bit of like humidity and warmth. I don't actually physically bring it into the shower. I put it on, obviously, the counter while I shower. If your plastic wrap doesn't want to stick, because let's be honest, that's happened to all of us, wet your hand and just kind of put it underneath, and it will stick that way. I'm going to take out the parchment paper, because that is the trick to help transfer the actual flatbread into the oven. I found it. The recipe, you can either make 2 large ones or 4 smaller ones. I think for me, I'm gonna do a variety of different toppings, so I'm gonna do 4 small ones. So check this out. That is like yeasty goodness. Exactly what we're looking for. I'm just gonna throw some flour down. Gonna use a little bit of flour on top. And what I'm gonna do now is actually separate this into 4 pieces. 2. They don't need to be too perfect. So I'm gonna actually add a little bit of flour here because it's pretty sticky and I just need it to work with me a little bit better. Okay, put this a little bit of flour here. Definitely gonna get messy doing this. Okay, let me get the parchment. And each bread is gonna get their own parchment, because when we bake this, we wanna be able to transfer it into the oven individually, okay? Put your parchment down. And we're looking for this long shape, which is the traditional Barbary bread shape. Sticky. If you get dough on your rolling pin, a trick is to use the back of your knife to scrape the rolling pin clean. So I'm gonna put it on my actual parchment. And the second you get it on your parchment shape, like, your life is already so much easier. Isn't that, look at that, look at how cute that little flatbread is gonna be. Here, it's pretty stretchy, so it kind of stretches on its own. And the second it's on the parchment, it's actually even easier to handle. And don't worry about it visually looking not perfect because we're gonna put on so many beautiful seeds or spices. And we're letting this proof again one more time. I'm gonna cover them with a damp paper towel and I'm gonna let it proof one more time. Don't look at the mess, don't look at the mess in this kitchen. Ignore it and cover it. And then just put it right here back into the warm place where you proofed it the first time. And now we wait again. They have risen a bit. If they get stuck a little bit, don't fret, it's fine. We're gonna put some olive oil on. This one I'm gonna do classic Nigella sesame seed. Drizzle with olive oil. Shmeary with your fingers. And I'm actually gonna put the seeds on first so that when I put my little dots into the dough, they can go in kind of shoved into the dough creases as well. So beautiful. I love that pop of that contrasting color with the black Nigella seeds and the dough. And then I'm just gonna take my fingers and create these long dent lines all the way up and down. And that's very much kind of the symbol of the Barbary bread. That's really what makes it feel like the Barbary bread. But it's kind of like focaccia meets Barbary, you know what I mean, with our olive oil top. And I'm gonna put just sesame seeds on this one. Very nice. Dents all the way down. Just top them with sea salt. And now they are ready for the oven. I have preheated the oven at 500 degrees, so don't worry if you don't have a pizza stone. If you have one, use that. If you don't, use a tray just like this. The oven's hot. I'm gonna take one of my flatbreads, and this is why I put it on the parchment paper so that it's a very easy transfer. Pick it up like this and put it right in like that. And this will take around 5 minutes. I do one at a time because I want the oven to stay really, really hot and I don't want to overcrowd it. So this is my za'atar version. And this reminds me of like the za'atar flatbread that I grew up eating on the streets of Tel Aviv. Sesame seeds. This one got crazy. This one's crazy as shit. But it's still gonna be good. Okay, Barbary guys. Check it out, the Nigella sesame, right out of the oven, super hot. Here's the sesame. How insanely just fluffy and beautiful it is. It's so good. I love this recipe. So delicious. This dough is so versatile. Just try it with these toppings. You're gonna absolutely fall in love. It's so good.